Well, hey, it's me, Andrea Reynolds, aka the Social Studies Whisperer, here to bring you episode 6 of my weekly Top Hits show and companion historical happenings blog post. What's a top hit, you ask? Well, there are 3 historical events that occurred this week so that you can plan ahead. These helpful ideas integrate literacy, technology, and support a wide range of learners. Before I get started with This Week in History, I wanted to take a minute to talk about why I'm doing this series in the first place. Besides my quest to be viewed as the Bill Nye of social studies. So, I recently relocated from Metro Atlanta to Asheville, North Carolina. I'm returned to the classroom full-time after about 3 years out. Last year, I was a long-term sub. Well, what I found to be the case is that social studies is even less of a priority in education than it was 3 years ago. Y'all, Georgia crushed it at the state level with resources in their state conference and their state organization. I've been pretty disappointed in my current state's take on humanities. From what I've seen, it doesn't seem to be at the forefront at all. I've only been here a few months, though. So what's a teacher to do? Integrate literacy, of course, but I say use those little pockets of time whenever you can to incorporate more social studies. And my solution will be these quick tidbits. I'm going out of my way to share lesser known fun facts. You never know what might spark an interest in your students. Obviously, this week brings us September 11th, which is Patriots Day. I've included a link to my Good Deed Challenge in the blog post, but I won't be including the event as one of my top hits. That's because it's an event that's very well known. My intention with this show is more of a did you know nature, not a duh one. Okay, let's move on to the top hits of September 10th through 15th. Monday, September 10th brings us top hits 1 and 2. First, let's rewind back to the American Revolution for top hit 1. Have you seen the show Turn? Well, then you know there really were spies. The British would have no way to know if a colonist was truly a loyalist or a patriot, would they? On this day in 1776, General Washington made a big ask. He asked for a volunteer to infiltrate enemy lines so that the Continental Army would have an advantage for an upcoming battle. 21-year-old Nathan Hale stepped up and offered his services for the task, becoming one of the first spies of the Revolution. He was able to gather some intel for a few weeks, but unfortunately on September 21st, 1776, Hale was found out and subsequently interrogated by British General William Howe and sentenced to death. He is rumored to have said, "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." Guess the only way to know for sure is to send the Timeless crew back to the American Revolution again. In the meantime, you know Flocabulary has us covered for context about the time period. Make sure and check additional resources such as the Read and Respond and my class's favorite thing in the world, the Vocab Game. If you don't have a subscription, you can get a free trial. If you ever have any questions about Flocabulary.com, please feel free to message me. I love this teaching tool so much that I became a FloCap MC educator. That just means I'm a brand ambassador and not a paid affiliate. Okay, now moving on to more contemporary times and top hit 2. September means the start of award show season, beginning with the Emmys. On September 10th, 2000, Halle Berry won an Emmy for her portrayal of Dorothy Dandridge in Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy was the first African-American woman to be nominated for an Oscar back in 1954. Ironically, Berry herself was the first African-American woman to receive that honor almost 50 years later in 2002. A few weeks ago, I mentioned Althea Gibson and her accomplishments in the world of tennis. Here's some more women to add to that notable list of pioneers. Okay, we have to get back in our time machine and travel to the way, way, way back again for top hit 3. It's quite the legendary event for America. On September 13th, 1814, Francis Scott Key was so inspired by the sight of the flag at Fort McHenry during a battle that he wrote the famous poem known first as In Defense of Fort McHenry. In 1931, after being set to music, the poem became known as our national anthem. Today, that flag is housed at the Smithsonian. Have students analyze the lyrics and compare them to other famous patriotic tunes like My Country 'Tis of Thee or America the Beautiful, or research other flags on display at the Smithsonian. This wraps up the top hits of September 10th through 15th. Don't forget to check the link in the description to read the blog post and sign up for a weekly reminder at bit.ly/sshooks. You'll get my free lesson hook cheat sheet too. But wait, there's more. Are you on my Facebook group for social studies teachers called Social Studies Salute? I would love to have you. Find the link right here. Thanks for watching, and be sure to let me know if you use any of these top hits. I will see you next Sunday for episode 7.